Here I want to show you how to use the DaVinci Line. It's really a tutorial for DaVinci Line beginners. We're going to start from total scratch. And ideally you're two people together who help one another to get into that sport. Here I have the 7.2 meter DaVinci Line already set up. In that video that you can find here, you can see how to set up the DaVinci Line so that you're ready to get started with the sport part. It's really an absolutely amazing core training, the DaVinci Line, and especially if you want to get into handstands, it's an absolute must-have. Here when you look at the DaVinci Line, you can see like two different colors. And one of the colors is often hanging down just slightly more. This is because often there is 1 or 2 centimeters of difference of length. If you're a beginner, you should start on the lower lines. So not stand up on the tighter lines, but on the looser lines, because like the tighter lines will press you up more. That means it would get you upside down easier. Once you want to get started into turning, you should actually stand up on these ones. It will make your life much easier to rotate. So I take the 2 looser lines and I sit on those. And if you're a beginner, like the setup here would be too high, you should sit a little closer to the mat when getting started. And also the mat is a very important thing. You must use mats when getting started with the DaVinci Line, because it's possible that you fall onto your back on your first tries. So I sit on the 2 lines, which are about that much apart. You have the 2 bones on your butt, so you put the lines on the bones and you slide towards the middle so that the skin is under tension. You grab the other 2 lines with your hands, you put your feet on the DaVinci Line. It doesn't really matter if you have your feet straight or turned to the outside. I prefer having them straight normally. And then you can go a little to the front with the hands to pull yourself onto your feet. And in the end you want to have like hands and feet on the same height, so not hands here to the front, but once you stand up you should like have the hands on the same height of the feet. And the hands not in this position anymore, but like grabbing the lines from below. And to find the right position on the DaVinci Line, when you like try to straighten your body, there should be some strength involved. If there is no effort to put them out, like you're too much in the middle, and if it's like super strenuous to push them out, here it's actually still okay. But here I don't manage anymore, so here I'm too much back. So you need to find kind of the sweet spot where you need a little bit of strength to push them out, but not extreme strength. But what I try to show you now is actually already super advanced, because like standing up without help is a real challenge, and it's really good to have somebody helping you with that, and Toby will explain to you how to do that.
I can help him by stabilize the lines and also hold the upper lines that he's holding with his hands, that he can really grab them, and I hold them that they not move too much. Okay, Sam, you can now try to stand on one green line with one foot. Hold your hand already on the white line. And now stabilize now with my hips the line that we are standing, and hold this white line as good as I can. Okay, get up and stabilize it. Alright, now you can take your other foot on the other line. And it's very important that you try to split your legs as far as you can. Now try to stretch out your elbows as much as you can. This line is quite a bit high, it's not perfectly for beginners, but you see I need to hold it quite high. The only thing you need to do on the first few tries is just to get into this position and hold it maybe for 10 seconds, make a short break, and then do another 10 seconds, maybe 3 or 5 sets. That's fine. Because your body needs first to adapt to this new quite special movement.
And while Toby is explaining all the time, you can see actually it's also a good stretch device. I'm not doing these movements on purpose, it's really a neuromuscular thing that's happening.
And now you can just shift your weight on one foot. One side, just a bit. And I'm here to stop here. Okay, go back. Sometimes you need to help the people to get into position, because it's quite some experience needed to know how to move your body in the DaVinci.
I just want to show you what could happen, like if Toby would not be helping me. Maybe you shortly step out. So when you start like shifting the weight to one side, either you have the body tension to hold it, or you like fall between, and that's why the mats are so important.
Now I'm stepping outside because I can have more range of movement to help him to go more down. So go down, more, and I stop, and now we go back. So now let's try to go down, and usually, I mean, Sam is now quite experienced in DaVinci, he might already turn, but many people, they just turn a little bit down and then they stop before they go around. So let's see how this works with Sam. Yeah, exactly. There's a point where it stops, and this is really important, because if you see, okay, I can just go in this position without that it's turning me accidentally around, I have there a stop. And now you can work with this by just going in this position, go back, and then always take a little bit more momentum. And now, if you not managed to go further, I just can take the line here and turn him around. Important is that you do this quite fast. I mean, he's super strong, but people, if they're not that strong, they really need to go quick from head up to head down, because if your head is here, it's quite an exhausting position.
I want to show that what Toby explained, and I explained it to you in different words. And I want to show you how to do it without help, but my version definitely only works for people who already have a great body tension. So instead of mounting the looser green lines, I will now mount the white lines, so it makes it a bit easier to rotate. So I get the feet ready, I mount, and while I'm mounting I directly straddle. I grab the line from the other side with the hands, make sure that it's on the same height as the feet. Now I realize I'm a little too much to the front, so if you can already slackline or rodeo line pretty good, you can actually try to start walking around on the DaVinci line. You can do this by shifting the weight totally on one leg and sliding the other foot. It's actually really a good challenge to try that. So here I feel like this is the right place. Okay, now when I want to turn, like the distance between this foot and this hand, when it's big, I will have no chance to hold it. So I want to get this hand a bit closer to that foot to shift the weight. And you can see I'm already almost upside down when doing that. So to do the entire turn, I shift all my weight to my right foot. The legs are not straight but slightly bent. I bring my right hand down. Right now there is no pressure on this right hand. I bring it down, I build up the pressure here, and now I try to lift my left leg up high to straddle. And with my left hand I follow my right hand. Okay, so now I'm straddling, and you see my right leg is still bent, and now I start to straighten the right leg. And that pushes me in an upside down position. So this is basically the toughest version because it's super slow, super static. If you go with momentum, it's easier. But I do it one more time a bit slow, and I try to stay like in the handstand position. And here you can see how I start playing with my hips to the left and the right, and always when I fall to one side, I try to play a bit with my legs too, like I straighten the leg to stop myself from turning to my standing position again. As a pre-exercise, you can basically also imagine a normal cartwheel on the ground. So here I show the really static version. I go down with my right hand close to the ground by bending my right knee. Then I lift my left leg, and then by kicking off with the right knee, I bring myself to my hands and I go for the cartwheel. So this is the static version, but you could also do a cartwheel by getting momentum on this side and then using the momentum to flip over.